25/8 is in the business of time. We help leaders of small and medium-sized businesses work smarter, not harder, so they feel like they have an extra hour in the day and day in the week. Go from don't know what I don't know to I can't miss this show, as we talk proven strategies, practical tips and insider insights from a diverse range of industry leaders. Make time to grow your capabilities and confidence with 25/8. You may have tried AI tools and had some successes, and you might have had some fails and might be questioning whether it's valuable for you and your business. This isn't uncommon. Most small business owners who adopt AI don't get the results they expected, not because the tools don't work and not because they picked the wrong ones, but because they had tried to fix something, automated a process that was already broken. And when you pick something that is already broken, it just breaks faster. I'm presenting a talk this week on human capability in the AI economy, because the more research and evidence we collect in our support of small businesses, the more it keeps highlighting the same truths. The businesses that are getting the most out of AI right now are not the ones with the best technology, they're the ones with the strongest foundations. And foundations are a human skill. Welcome to Make Time. I'm Sam, and I'm passionate about helping you and your business thrive by working smarter, not harder. And today we're going to talk about what it actually takes to get real value from AI and why the answer has a lot more to do with you than the tools. Open your LinkedIn feed on any given day and you'd be forgiven for thinking AI is the solution to everything. Struggling with marketing, AI can write your content. Overwhelmed with admin, AI can automate it. Not sure what to do next in your business, AI can tell you. And look, I'm not here to tell you those things aren't true. In the right context and with the right foundations in place, they absolutely are. But here's the question I want you to sit with for a moment. If AI is this powerful, why are so many business owners still overwhelmed? Why are people who've adopted AI tools still working 60-hour weeks, still unclear on their strategy, still reactive, still stretched, still running on empty? The answer, I think, is that we've been asking the wrong question. We've been asking, which AI tools should I use? When the real question is my business ready to benefit from AI? McKinsey's 2024 Global AI Adoption Survey found that while 72% of organizations had adopted AI in at least one business function, fewer than a third reported that AI had delivered meaningful impact on their performance. The rest, adoption without return. The gap has a name. Researchers call it the Capability-Technology Mismatch, when organizations invest in technology that their current human and process capability can't support. In plain English, the tool is only as good as the person using it and the system it sits inside. I know this deeply. 25/8 has been committed to research and development and the use of AI to help us help small businesses at scale since 2020, pre-ChatGPT. I believed we could pioneer new ways of learner-centric education. However, my attempts at transferring this to the wider team and market fell short. I hadn't focused on building capabilities first. And somewhere along the way, I think the problem we were trying to solve was too big. And the rate of advancements in AI meant that sooner or later, what we were doing then would be done by the AI tool itself. We're still not there yet, but it's not far off. So I had to make a decision to halt development on those tools and reconsider exactly what problem was the most important to solve, which meant a sizable investment in my learning journey. Here's the mental model I keep coming back to, and I'll be using this in my talk this week too. Think of AI as a multiplier, not an addition, a multiplier. So if you have a clear strategy, AI multiplies your ability to execute it. If you have documented processes, AI multiplies your capacity to run them. If you have strong decision-making frameworks, AI multiplies the speed and quality of your decisions. But the mathematical reality of multipliers, 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. That's real leverage. 0 multiplied by 3 is still 0. And a negative number multiplied by 3, that accelerates in the wrong direction. If your business processes are unclear, undocumented, or inconsistent, AI makes that unclear. Undocumented, inconsistent mess move faster. That's not efficiency, that's chaos at scale. So before the tool question, there's a foundation question. In the work we do at 25/8, we use a number of frameworks that we've developed through our research and development to pinpoint small business capabilities and their needs. One is called the Small Business Capability Gap Index. In this, we look at human and leadership capability, business capability, digital and AI capability, well-being, sustainability, and customer centricity. And here's what the index consistently shows. The businesses that get genuine value from AI are operating at a level 5 or above across business capability. So what that means is that they have repeatable processes, key workflows are documented, things don't live in the owner's head. They have basic systems in place, CRM, financial tracking, some form of workflow structure. They've begun delegating. They're not the single point of failure in their own operations. They understand their numbers. They know what's working, what's not, and why. This isn't a high bar, but for a business operating at a level 3 or a level 4, and many are, introducing AI before these foundations exist is like installing solar panels on a house with faulty wiring. The energy source is good, but the infrastructure isn't ready for it. We talk a lot about what AI can do. We talk very little about what it can't do and what that means for humans who need to lead alongside it. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report in 2025 identifies the skills most in demand over the next 5 years. The top of the list isn't coding, and it isn't prompt engineering, and it isn't knowing which AI tools to use. It's analytical thinking, creative thinking, resilience and flexibility, leadership and social influence, curiosity and lifelong learning. These are human skills, and they're not in demand despite AI. They're in demand because of it. Because AI is extraordinarily good at pattern recognition, synthesis, repetition, and speed, what it can't do is exercise judgment. It can't navigate ambiguity. It can't build trust with a client over years of a relationship. It can't make the kind of contextual, values-driven, ethically complex decisions that running a real business demands every day. These decisions are yours, and if you haven't developed the capability to make them well, AI doesn't solve that, it exposes them. I want to name 3 capabilities that specifically compound in the AI economy, because these come up again and again in the research and in the businesses we work with. The first is strategic thinking. AI can generate a marketing strategy. It can model scenarios. It can surface options you hadn't considered, but it can't decide which option is right for your business, your values, your stage, and your people. That requires strategic thinking, the ability to see your business as a system, to understand how decisions in one area affect another, and to make choices that serve a longer time horizon than the next problem in your inbox. The second is systems design. AI can automate a workflow, but someone has to design the workflow first. Someone has to understand what the business actually does, how value moves through it, where the friction sits, and how to reduce it. That's not a technology skill, that's a thinking skill, and it's one of the most underdeveloped capabilities in the small business sector. And the third is decision-making quality. We're in an environment of information abundance. AI generates more of it faster. The competitive advantage isn't access to information anymore. It's the ability to filter it, weigh it, and act on it with confidence. That requires clarity about what matters, courage to make calls under uncertainty, and the kind of structured thinking that most business owners have never been taught. We recently migrated our project management and CRM tools so that all of our data is stored within Australia. And I took this as a chance to rethink our internal processes and review how these would work as we increasingly look to utilise agentic AI to assist in low-value tasks without compromising any of our data security and governance. This took time. However, had I simply migrated in a sort of copy and paste fashion, I would still have been working in a system that is designed for humans only. The new system is optimized for both human and AI, and there's a lot less information to manage from a human point of view each day. Think of someone coming along and magically turning your to-do list and checking it off and telling you what to focus on. It took me time to do it, but the gains are significantly more than the thinking time it took. I want to share something else from the data we've gathered working with small business owners through our programs. The businesses that report the most significant productivity gains from AI adoption are not the ones that adopted AI first necessarily. They're the ones that systematized, potentially using AI for that, and then adopted AI as a layer on top of what already works. Jess from Whole Health Osteo and now a 25/8 coach and mentor shared this at the end of her next level growth program journey. I've built automations, SOPs and templates that allow others to take ownership. I've set up systems that free me up to focus on leadership and growth, not just survival. Having gone through the process of building clarity around the business strategy, she was able to leverage it to build systems enabled by technology that helped her move into a new leadership level. That sequence matters, and it's not accidental. It's a result of capability development in a particular order. Based on our experience, here are the steps that help you get the best results. The first one is getting that clarity, understanding what your business actually does, how value flows through it. If this isn't clear to you, it won't be clear to AI. AI can assist in the development of that, but ultimately it's you who set the destination. You're the captain of your ship. The second is documentation. Get your key processes out of your head and into a format others and systems can follow. This doesn't have to be complex. A clear step-by-step description of how you deliver your service is enough to start. I often recommend for those that are traveling or driving to actually record you speaking, talk through the process, and then transcribe that. The third one is systemization. Build the operating rhythm. What happens daily, weekly, monthly? Who does what? How does the business run when you're not the one running it? The fourth step then is intentional AI adoption. Now you can introduce AI where it multiplies what you've built. Maybe content creation or client communication. Think of those low value tasks like scheduling or reporting or research, where AI can really remove that friction from a process that already works. And then can you pinpoint what doesn't work, what isn't working, and redesign it with AI in mind? The fifth step is iteration. This isn't a one-time exercise. You build, you test, you refine. The businesses with the strongest AI capability aren't the ones that got it right the first time. They're the ones who kept improving. And one thing that we know is that the capabilities will increasingly accelerate for AI. What I see as a trend in the future is not only will we have access to large language models in the shape of ChatGPTs and Claudes and Gemini, but we'll also have a regional and on local so that we can get the smaller tasks done for us. We might have in-house AI capabilities. And critically to all of that is that you hold the judgment layer at every step, deciding what to use, how to use, and how it continues to provide value for your customers. AI can inform and help and execute, but it can't decide what matters. That's your job. We're at a really interesting inflection point in the world, but certainly for the small business sector. For the first time, the tools available to a small business, a sole trader in Ballarat, are functionally similar to the tools available to a large corporate in Sydney. The gap in technology access is almost closed, but the gap in capability to use that technology, that's wider than it's ever been. And here's why that matters. As AI raises the ceiling of what's possible, it also raises the floor on what's expected. Clients, customers, and markets are increasingly comparing the experience you deliver with the experience a well-resourced competitor can now deliver for a fraction of the cost. The businesses that close the capability gap will benefit from that shift, but also benefit from designing something a business on their own terms rather than being directed by the market. The ones that don't will feel it as a competitive pressure that they can't quite explain, or having to do things because of what's happening around it. They haven't designed their business to work for them. In our diagnostic work with small business owners, one of the most consistent findings is the gap between digital and AI capability and the other capability dimensions. A business at the success to take-off growth transition, operating, say, at around a level 6 in business complexity, with a digital and AI capability sitting at a level 3, has a gap of nearly 3 levels. We have a name for a gap like that uses our momentum framework, and it's called stalled. Not declining, not failing, but stalled. Good businesses, good intentions, but capability not keeping pace with complexity. And without a deliberate investment in closing that gap, the trajectory doesn't improve on its own. The fix isn't just learning a new tool. The fix is building the human capability to understand what the tool is for, how it fits your business, and what foundations need to exist before it can work. I want to leave you with something practical. Because the most valuable thing you can do right now isn't adopt another AI tool, it's get honest about where your capability actually sits. Ask yourself this: if I stopped working in my business for 2 weeks, would it keep running? If the answer is no, that isn't a staffing problem, it's a systems problem. Can I describe in plain language the key processes in my business? How I find clients, how I deliver my service, how I manage my finances. If I had to hand that to someone else tomorrow, could I? If not, there's documentation work to do before AI work. When I make decisions about my business, pricing, team, strategy, marketing, am I making them deliberately, or am I reaching to whatever is in front of me? The quality of your decisions is the single biggest determinant of your business trajectory. And finally, have I invested in my own capabilities this year? Not just in tools and technology, but in how I think, how I lead, how I make decisions. These are not comfortable questions, but they're the right ones to ask right now if you're considering your AI journey. But here's the thing that gives me genuine optimism about this moment. The small business owners who commit to their own capability development right now are building something that no competitor, no matter how well resourced or well automated, can replicate. Because AI can copy a process, it can't copy your judgment, your relationships, human relationships with your customers, your understanding of your markets because you're so close to your market, or your ability to lead through complexity. These are your competitive advantages, and they compound. They're not replaceable by the next tool release. And the businesses that invest in developing them now will be the ones that benefit most from AI, not because they adopted it first, but because they were ready for it. AI is extraordinary. I spent 20 years managing digital transformations, and I believe that this is one of the most significant shifts in how businesses can operate that I've seen in my whole career. But extraordinary tools in the hands of underprepared operators don't produce extraordinary results, they produce expensive distractions. The question isn't whether AI is powerful, it is. The question is whether you are building the capability to use it well. Start with your foundations, build your systems, develop your thinking, and then, with those in place, let AI do what it does best. That's the advantage that will last. And if you'd like a structured way to assess where your capability gaps are and be supported to grow to the next level, then the Next Level Growth Program would benefit you. It's designed specifically for small business owners who are transitioning those stages and really helps them integrate their personal human development, business, and digital and AI in one go. The links are in the show notes. Thanks for making time this week. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to Make Time, a business podcast by 25/8. If you like the show, please take a moment to write a review and feedback on what you'd like to hear next. If you never want to miss an episode, hit subscribe or follow on your favourite listening channel. If you want to get even smarter, join our newsletter, community, or take one of our programs. Links down below. See you next time.